was a nice period of time where NASCAR's Eastern Regional Series ran a fantastic schedule, and oftentimes it was at road courses at tracks that the higher series didn't visit. Courses like Road Atlanta, New Jersey Motorsports Park, Lime Rock, and VIR, Virginia International, which is where we are today. It's 2015, and time for the K&N East series to arrive for the Biscuitville 125, a race that you probably haven't seen or heard about. So why this race? Well, here's where I stand. Have you ever watched a race and thought to yourself, man, I bet I could have won that? Maybe. You were probably wrong, but every so often you may get the thought and think, well, maybe. If you had a good car under you and you could keep said car on the racing surface late in this race, you may have had a chance, because this one went way, way, way off the rails. Let's start out with the entry list, stacked full of notable names from really every category you can think of today. Starting out with Scott Heckert on pole, a road racing ace. Nick Drake on the outside, currently a sprint car driver. J.J. Haley, who is now Justin Haley, Cup Series driver. Austin Hill, Xfinity Series driver. Dalton Sargent, who went out to drive the Truck Series, brother of Logan Sargent, the Formula One driver. Kaz Gralla, NASCAR driver. William Byron, Cup Series driver. Rico Abreu, drove the Truck Series, still drives sprint cars. Dale Quarterly, longtime East Coast racer, still running the ARCA Series. Brandon Godovic, ran some NASCAR, mostly sports cars. Kenzie Ruston, now wife to Daniel Hemrick. It's a very top-heavy field out of just 18 cars that are entered. 55 laps in this one, broadcast on a delay on NBC Sports, so there's chunks of the race that were cut out and missing in the telecast. If you're not familiar with it, this is kind of a funny thing that different racing series have had to do over the years, where a commercial break will magically either have no laps pass by while they're gone, or in this case, 22 entire laps, so yeah, we've moved ahead in the race a bit. Heckert and Austin Hill have swapped the lead around, and William Byron, in just his second road race in a stock car, spun and brought out a caution. The only driver out of the race so far is Zeb Pixley, a local mechanic who may, by my research, have just participated in the first and only motorsports event of his entire career. This is a tough track for stock cars. They aren't run here very often, it's a bit narrow and windy, very easy to go off course, which is a common theme in this one. Devin Amos goes off on lap 27 and damages something with the suspension, so he's done too. The next lap, Christian Salea loses it. There's a halfway-ish break, and just after it, Rico Abreu goes way off course, somewhere, I don't even know, this is another one that the broadcast didn't include as live. We pick back up on lap 39, and the race is on. Heckert clears Sargent for the lead, then gets clear before they finish the lap. It's mentioned that Sargent actually won a late model race at this track, and that's true. For some reason, the Southeast Limited Late Model Series ran a road course in 2014. A race that featured 3 cars. And not only did Sargent win it, but that night he also ran a late model down at Hickory in North Carolina. On lap 45, he's being hounded back by Heckert, but just when he stretches the lead out, he blows a corner and runs way off. Now it's Haley up and fighting with Heckert, and on lap 46, he takes the top spot. Just a lap later, something happens to Heckert. He's off course, and like Amos earlier, it's the suspension. At the same time, Kenzie Ruston is off and into the tires, stopped, bringing out a yellow with 6 laps to go. Haley leads on the restart, loses it to Austin Hill, and gets run off course by Sargent. Haley drops debris, bringing out another yellow and another restart. It's just a tiny pack of cars remaining, but everyone's in it, even Byron is back up to third. He sends it in a little deep, everyone stacks up, and Sargent gets spit out the top and into the grass. Austin Hill leads away from the corner as behind them, Brandon Godovic spins and continues to spin. Hill leads now over Sergio Pena in second and Byron in third. In the back, Godovic could never get it going, so there's another caution and another restart, and we're well into overtime, restarting on lap 60 out of a scheduled 55. Scoring reverts back to the previous lap, I think, so Sargent is again back up next to Hill. Sargent almost goes into the grass again, chasing down Hill. Gralla gets pushed off by Pena, rejoins the track right in front of Byron, who plows him and gets heavy damage. Coming around to the white, Austin Hill is still leading but overcooks it all by himself, handing Sargent the lead. With 1 to go and coming to the same turn he's been having issues with all race, Sargent again slides off the track. While he's stuck there, it looks like Cabre sends Quarterly off into the same grass, and we've got anarchy. Sergio Pena, a driver I didn't mention in the intro, now leads. He's only even in this race in the first place as a substitute for Jay Beasley, one of the drivers in the Rev Racing program. Pena has a very slim lead over Gralla, who's harassing him for the rest of the white flag lap, nudging and bumping him. But each time Pena saves it, and in a drag race to the line, it's Pena who wins the race, his only lap led of the entire day. Byron winds up so damaged that he doesn't make it around in what turns out to be a race of last-minute attrition. Pena wins, Gralla second, and David Garbo comes from out of nowhere to grab third. I love races like this, and to me, the weird tape delay broadcast just adds to the absurdity of it. I still don't know the track itself all that well. I've never been there, and obviously haven't seen enough races there on TV to even get an idea of its layout and conditions. So it all presents itself as kind of a mystery where drivers at any time can overshoot turns at random and at will, and each corner is a surprise. Hopefully someday we'll see another regional or national series tackle tracks like VIR again, but it doesn't seem like something NASCAR and ARCA are interested in anymore. In the East, they've been replaced by the Cars Tour, which, being a late model series, can't really do the road courses. For now, fortunately, some of these regional road races are online for us to enjoy. I'd recommend taking a nice browse around. It's how I found the 2015 Biscuitville 125, and what a race it was.